Hello, everyone. Glad to see you here today. Mr. Arthur Gardner and Cal are going to lead us to the national anthem.
Join me, please. Oh, say, can you see my daughter in mine? Was so proudly held at the twilight's last peak, with stars and bright stars, with the perilous spine. Oh, the red we march, for yours around we sing, and the rockets flare, flare, the others sleep in there. They grew through the night, their flag was still there. Oh, sailors as our sway, carry away. Oh, left on way, with the hope of rain. Please join me in our pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our invitation today is by Greg.
Pray with me, please. Lord, we thank you for the many blessings that you bless people in this group with. Help us to be good stewards, to give back. Thank you for this organization and its leadership and the good that we do in the community. Help us always have that in mind. Pray that you bless this food to our bodies and the speaker today. In Christ's name, amen.
Yeah, thank you, Greg. All right, Terry Duffy, family of Rotary.
Thank you very much, President Josh. Hope everybody's having a great Monday. Short week today on the birthdays and anniversaries as well. Andy Giles was May 10th, Thomas Spider May the 11th, and celebration of one anniversary. Brooks Newell and Laura on May the 6th. Hope you all have a great week. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Terry. All right, Alex Little, please come forward and introduce our guests.
Good morning, good afternoon. It's a pleasure to welcome our guests to Rotary today. When I call your name, if you could stand and remain standing so everybody's recognized. Kirk Davis, guest of Art Morris. We have Jessica Good, guest of Cameron Good. And we have Lee Jacobs, guest of Stephanie Walker. Thank you, guys.
All right, time for our gift ask the drawing. Mark Cronin.
All right, we got 295.
295 points. All right, the last four, 7296. 7296. All right. Take that tape. All right. Thank you. All right. I'd like to ask Dale Goodwin to come forward. She has an announcement to make.
I just wanted to give you a little update on the multi-district conference that I just went to in Huntsville for Rotary this past week from Thursday to Sunday. But also I'd like Mike and Sheila Azar were there. If y'all please stand. They had a big part in the conference with the technology, helping with that, and then Sheila was helping set up and tell them about registration with those things. Mike was also supposed to sing a solo at the memorial service, and Bruce was very active with the exhibits he put up, and then part of the memorial service. And Tim and I had the pleasure of being the Rotary International Presidential's representatives aide. And so that's the person that comes in to represent Rotary International at the meeting. So we were charged with that duty. I had the College of Governors meetings when her flight landed. So Tim went and picked her up from the airport. But her name is Taylor Huey. She was a fascinating young lady. Just very, very, very interesting. She lives in Kalamazoo, Michigan. She's a medical device design engineer with Steiker Instruments. She travels all over the world helping develop medical instruments. She graduated from Duke University. Her parents are very active in Rotary, and when she got to Duke, there was not a Rotaract Club. She started the Rotaract Club at Duke. They had 400 initial members to join. This young girl is just, like I said, amazing. She had never been to Alabama, so this was her first trip to Alabama. And as we talked, Mr. John Watson, both of her grandparents graduated from Auburn. They would have been 82 years old, and she said they loved Auburn, but somehow they had gotten to Auburn, and that's where they graduated from, and then went on up north. But just very, very interesting. The memorial service yesterday if you've never been to one of the Rotary memorial services, you recognize your past Rotarians that have passed away. And so at this service, I had several of ours that I wanted to make sure that we lit a candle for Dr. Joe Miller, Dr. Rufus Lee, and Art Solomon. So we recognize them at the program. But thank you for continuing to give me the opportunity to go and represent our club at these meetings. It's if you ever get a chance, go. Thank you.
Thank you, Deb. All right, Greg Hendricks and Mary Beth, will you please come up?
Okay.
The Rotary Ball Committee would like to express our deep appreciation for all the members here who bought tables at the Rotary Ball Club, and seats, and just feel like it was a wonderful event. I hate that you missed it. Mary Beth was in the hospital. And but to me, there was just a sweet community spirit is the best I can say. People just had a really fun time, and you could tell there was just a good spirit there. So very appreciative. Mary Beth, do you want to?
Sure. If you guys know me, you know I'm a multitasker, right? So I love it when I get the chance to be part of something that creates win-wins. And so I want to thank everybody that I'm looking. I see lots of people in this room that bought tables and that supported this event. We could not do it without you guys. Thank you very much. So obviously to have the opportunity to do this and to be able to give back to the Rotary Miracle League is something that's very near and dear to a lot of our hearts. But I want to say something else too. I think just the opportunity to get out and have a little fun, right? Life can be hard. We just mentioned 3 of our beloved former Rotarians, and to be able to have the chance to get together and fellowship with one another, I think is important. And then the last thing that I thought was really special, and even though I did miss it, I was literally in the hospital. I got discharged like 2 hours before showtime, and I looked at my husband and he said, "You are not serious. If you get dressed and go to this thing, I'm gonna spank you." So anyway, I didn't get to go, but there were a lot of people that were able to come to this that had no exposure to Rotary before. And so there were a lot of people that got to be exposed to what we do. I actually got some calls about people that are interested in wanting to join Rotary. And so I think that's special. So thank you guys for all letting us be a part of it. Thank you for the support of this event. And, we're gonna do it again next year.
I want to say one more thing. You know, they say when the tide goes out, you can tell who's swimming naked. Well, one of the things about being in charge of something like this is you get to watch people and how they do things. And I just like for us to give a special appreciation to the person that sold about 90 to 95% of all the tables and sponsorships, Ms. Mary Beth. We've got the big check here. It's, we'd like to present this to the Rotary Miracle Field, and James Etheridge will accept this. All right, somebody.
Somebody take a picture. Oh, that's fine. Oh, three, 1, 2, 3.
Let's give them another.
I can't catch that.
All right, I'm gonna turn it over to Alan Richards to introduce our presenter for today.
Thank you, President Josh. Today's program will be on Wiregrass 211. On the table. Explain a little bit more about it. The mission of Wiregrass 211 is to collaborate, inform, and connect Wiregrass to build a stronger community. The program will be brought to us today by Marc Cronin. In August of 23, Marc became Wiregrass 211's executive director. He has worked with Wiregrass 211 since its opening in 2008 as a contact center resource manager. Prior to that, he worked for the corporate group in New York for 16 years, developing business systems, establishing brand recognition, and integrating electronic forms for various Wall Street firms. Marc moved to Dothan in 2004. He worked at Alfred Saliba Family Services Center as a grant assistant. He attended Queens College and Wells College in separate states and has obtained the CRS certification for resource specialist and the CIRS certification for I&R specialist from AIRS. He has donated his time and been involved in various nonprofits in Wiregrass. Marc was born and raised in New York City, and he has been asked to choose a school here in the South. He and his family, he and his wife Stephanie, have been married for more than 30 years and have 2 grown children, Nicole and David. Please welcome Marc Cronin.
Good afternoon, everybody. And bear with me for 1 second. And as you mentioned, I'm the director over at Wiregrass 211. Our mission is to collaborate, inform, and connect the community. And it's a free program that brings people and services together 24/7. We're the information referral arm for Wiregrass United Way. And a brief history, I'm not going to go down every bullet point. Wiregrass United Way received a startup grant from the Wiregrass Foundation back in 2007. It all started with a simple conversation Walter Hill had with Vince Edge in the parking lot. Vince Edge was looking for an information referral program, and Walter was looking for funding for a 211 program. So 2 ends meet right there. We opened up the call center in July of 2008. Our first year, we had approximately 6,400 calls. We averaged about 15,000 calls a year currently. And we're known as the conduit between 3,000 plus programs and the people that are looking for services. Right now, there is 99% coverage across the United States. That is up from 95% because, last year, we finally got Chicago on board, and that bumped the number up. As I was saying, serves about 99% of the population, and there is no state or federal funding available for 211s. 211 Connects Alabama. What it is the combination of all 9 call centers in the county and in the state of Alabama. What that does is we have a shared database where we share the costs and resources in case of any emergencies. So if any call center had a down period, a storm, another one can pick it up within seconds. So it makes it a more robust system. And also with the shared database, if somebody were to call us in Dothan looking for a food pantry, and they turn around and say, well, I have a grandmother in Huntsville and she needs Meals on Wheels, we would just have to change the search area and we're able to give them the resources that are available in Huntsville. It's as simple as that. 211s in other states do not have that. For example, my mother lives in Queens. My brother lives 5 blocks away and he's considered Nassau County. If he were to call for services for my mother, he would reach 211 Long Island. And they would tell him, you have to hang up and dial the 211 that covers New York City. So without shared database, we don't have that issue. As you see, we answer calls in 7 counties, the Southeast: Barbara, Coffee, Covington, Dale, Geneva, Henry, and Houston County. And as you can tell, I had thicker and darker hair back then, and that has all gone away. As I was saying, our mission is to collaborate, inform, and connect the Wiregrass to build a stronger community. A connected community is a stronger community. If people know what resources are out there, we can go further. We help people problem solve and connect them to resources in their community, whether they're looking for help or they're looking to give help. How do you contact us? It's simple. Dial 211. And also we have an 888 number, which is 888-421-1266. Some cell carriers have issues with the 211 numbers and it doesn't go through. We also offer chat, text, and another thing on our website is called 211 Connects. And what that is, it gives the data, live data, as far as the needs are in any given community in that state of Alabama. Those are our lovely ladies that help answer our phones. Since 2008, we've had more than 242,000 calls and answered 423,000 referrals that have been made. Last year, we had 16,000 calls and contacts, more than 2,400 referrals, and 5,500 follow-ups. The reason we do follow-ups is to ensure that people get help. We're not just giving them a phone number and say good luck. We follow up with them to see if they're able to reach that agency, if they're able to get the help, and if they have any additional needs. We do about 33% of our follow-ups. The national rate in the state recommended is 10%, so we try to exceed that. The reasons for calling, 39% was housing, 20% utilities, followed by healthcare, food, and employment. The 39% housing is very disturbing. To be honest with you, in 2019, it was only 20%. It's nearly doubled since. So that is a major issue that our community is facing. How do people hear about us? 56% called us before, followed by family members, agencies, and the media. The homeless stats, 1,250 calls came in, and that encompasses all 7 counties, for homeless needs. And if you look at the numbers, you see women, 422, women with children, 276, and families, which may include women, are also there. People have an image of a homeless person as a man with a scruffy beard and an knapsack. By these numbers, it shows a different story, obviously. We work with the local shelters. We partner with agencies such as Arch and Siege, and to provide the help that the homeless need, such as housing counseling. We also help during emergencies. This way we can support 911 systems. They're there for first responders. So in the event of an emergency, such as a hurricane during the pandemic, we get the information from whether it's local governments, EMA, so that we can provide that to the public. This way, they're not bogging down those entities with questions. During COVID, the first 2 weeks, we saw an increase of more than 80% of our call volume. And we were very fortunate that Wiregrass United Way stepped up and their staff helped us answer phones. And as I was mentioning, a bunch of different agencies, everything is about collaboration. A stronger community is a community that collaborates with one another. As I mentioned before, more than 900 agencies, actually it's 941 as of today. That includes all the United Way agencies, all Wiregrass United Way agencies. As long as they provide services to people in our area of coverage, they're included. So that can include federal programs, national programs, statewide programs. We give a lot of referrals for cancer patients to an agency called Cancer Care in New York City. But as I was saying, as long as they serve our community, we include them in that database. We are implementing what we call a closed loop approach. In the healthcare industry, they did a survey, they did a study that found that most of the time you go to the doctor and he gives you a bunch of referrals. The blemish, go to the dermatologist, for that back pain, go to this doctor, et cetera, et cetera. And they found most people do not follow up with those referrals. Same thing with us. We'll call people and they didn't make those contacts. So in the past year, A Reset, which is our employment training program, Help Me Grow for early childhood development, and our Siege partnership, we're bringing in a closed loop approach where not only are we giving them the resources and the phone numbers in which to contact, with their permission, we're contacting those agencies and sending them the referrals. So either that agency can call that person or that person's going to call the agency. Either way around, it helps improve that that person is getting the help that they need. And the services that we provide. Our main driver is the 201 INR services, where we provide those information referrals. We also have Help Me Grow, A Reset, and Comfort Calls, which is our newest program that we've added to our services. A Reset, the goal of A Reset is to assist food stamp recipients or SNAP recipients in getting job training, education to help them become more self-sufficient. It's a partnership between 211 and the Alabama Department of Human Resources. About a year ago, a young lady contacted us, she had a house fire, and it was her and her daughter. We were able to give her local resources to help, like Salvation Army, Catholic Social Services, and the Red Cross. But we also found out she was on food stamps, so we enrolled her in the A Reset program. Through the A Reset program, she worked with the Mary Hill Family Service Center in Dale County, where she was in Ozark, and she was able to go back to school, finish her degree, and today she is a nurse making $74,000 as her case manager recently spoke to me. And she's not on any public assistance, and she has housing for her and her young daughter. That's why we show up to work, to be honest with you, is to give them resources to help them become self-sufficient. And Help Me Grow, that's a partnership between the Alabama Partnership of Children and 211. And what that program is for parents to find out more about the child's health and development. From birth up to 8, and from birth up until the age of 5, we do ASQs or assessments to find out how that child is developed. Brandy, who was our care coordinator, recently was helping a family whose child, little boy, he just wasn't adapting well. And through the assessments, they were able to determine the child had autism, and she was able to set up a plan with specialists. And today he is communicating better with his parents and readying him for school. So it's a very important program, and that is available to any family with small children, regardless of income. They could be the richest person in town or the poorest person in town. I would encourage people to contact us. And comfort calls. When I first took over as director, I sat down with staff and I said, come to me with what you think would make your day better. What programs should we focus on? We spoke about the homeless. We spoke about transportation. And one of the things that came up in the discussion was, well, we get people who call us that are just lonely. So one of the things that we have developed is the comfort calls, where we do outbound calls that are scheduled to elderly folks who are homebound and facing isolation, and is completely run on a volunteer basis in our office. And that leads to volunteerism. One of the things that we've seen in the past 5 years is the drop in volunteerism in the community. We got a grant through All In Credit Union to help increase volunteerism in the area. One of the things that you can find on our website are a list of local agencies that are looking for volunteers on a regular basis, and also during the holidays. What else? We promote community awareness and coordinate resources with our partner agencies. During the holidays, it's Thanksgiving and Christmas. We're the lead agency on Toys for Tots. We help the other agencies coordinate their Toys for Tots schedule, as well as we screen the calls for that program. We work with Siege, as I mentioned before, as far as helping the homeless, whether it's during the point in time counts or the Homeless Connect. We also work with the local EMA offices during emergencies, whereas local health fairs, ASA meetings, and child policy councils. What's next? In the past year, we've been undergoing a complete overhaul of the database across the state. And we're trying to make it simple for people to communicate amongst themselves and with us. When we first opened up, it was very rare for somebody to call us that had a cell phone. It is flipped. It's very rare to have somebody call us from a landline. So people are getting information through chat, text, and phone. One of the things that we were running into when we would ask about the quality of the website search was it was too complex. So we're in beta stages right now with a new search engine, and also improving on the text features. And also, we have moved. We're now at 567 West Main Street. We found that our location on Columbia Highway was a hindrance to a lot of people. We were out of focus or out of the beaten path for a lot of people. And people are not able to just walk along to the old office. So being on Main Street is a lot easier. It's in the center of downtown. So hopefully we can help more people on a walk-in basis. And through that discussion that we had with the staff about the needs of the community, we're working on funding for programs that can impact the community for serve. And we also we're having our annual fundraiser this July 18th. It's a Flash Flood Pass. It's an 82nd chance prom. So if you're interested, please contact us. And thank you. Anybody have any questions? Yes.
How many people in your organization?
We hired, right now we have 3 employees, and I have 6 volunteers. Starting this week, we hired a part-time call specialist, so that'll bring our numbers up to 4. We're hoping to change that by the next fiscal year to add on another person in hopes for expansion. So one of the things that people are usually curious about is, okay, 15,000 calls, we have 100 people answering phones like that. Usually it's 3 or 4 people at a time answering these calls. Somebody in the back? Yes.
Do you sell advertisement space on your website?
No. We are a nonprofit. There is inclusion and exclusion policies, so that is one thing that we are looking at. Yes, sir.
How big is your annual budget and how are you funded?
We get approximately 40% of our budget through appropriations through Wiregrass United Way. Right now, our budget is $236,000. The balance of our funding comes through grants and fundraising. Anybody else? Well, thank you very much. You have on your tables postcards with magnets. Feel free to give that to anybody that you feel would have a need to contact us. And also my card's there. If anyone has questions, feel free to give me a call. And I want to thank you all again for inviting me.
Thank you, Mark, very much for being with us today. Thank you for the work that you do in our community. All right, next week, we will have Miss Angela Turner, the director of the Future Masters. You may have heard that there's somebody with the last name Woods that's going to be playing in this year's tournament. So I know that's created quite a stir in the last few days. So interested to hear what Miss Angela has to say. Thank you to the guests that are here, Kurt, Jessica, and Lee. Glad to have you. Hope to see you again soon. And please stand for our 4-way test. Of the things we think, say, and do, is it true? Is it fair all concerned? Will it deal goodwill, capricious? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Shine the light of Rotary.
Hey, Mom. Are you? You see all them cameras? I did. I watched.